Hello, and welcome to the FM podcast. I'm Jen Fritz, and I run Fritz Media, a music publicity and digital marketing firm located in Vancouver, Canada. And this is episode number 50 of the podcast. So the topic of this week's show is carving out your own space. And joining me on the show is Toronto musician Sandra Bouza. Now, Sandra and I had a great chat about how it can be hard to find your place in the music industry when, you don't fit into one specific genre. And she tells me how she decided to carve out her own space by, spoiler alert, just being herself. I really felt a connection with Sandra during this conversation. I identified with a lot of the experiences that she was talking about by being a woman in the music industry. So I think you're really going to like this one. And just a quick note that this episode is the final episode for season 4 of the FM podcast. I'm going to be taking a short break, and Lord knows I need it. But I'll be back soon with even more music industry wisdom for you. And so, without further ado, here's my conversation with Sandra Bouza. Well, hello, Sandra. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing okay, actually. We're recording this on a Monday, and Monday is not one of my favorite days in the in the world. But you know what? It's fine.
I think there's a lot of people that would agree with you on that.
Yeah. But it's really good to actually see your face. We talk on email all the time because full disclosure for the listeners, we're actually working together on a project right now. But we've never done a Zoom or anything like that.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to actually because I love working with you so far. It's been a few months. It's been great. And
Yay.
So actually getting to meet personally, screen-wise personally. Yeah, it's awesome.
What a weird world we live in. Hey?
It's so true. So true.
You're in Toronto, so we've actually never met in person, it's so weird when I work with clients like that too, which happens. Obviously, Everybody lives all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to see your face. To get things rolling here, I'm going to ask a question that I ask pretty much everyone that I interview on the podcast. And that is, how did you get your start in music?
I've always been very musical. I think I played my first gig when I was 12 or 13. Because my sister and I always played guitar and piano. I played piano, and then I took up guitar, and we always sang. So we were always my parents were always let's let Sandra sing something at all the family events, right? So we played, my first gig was at La Contessa Ballroom in Toronto. The neighbor was having a party, and then the owner of the ballroom heard us sing and asked us to perform. So yeah, we were I think I had to be 11 or 12 or something very young. So it was always kind of a part of my life, but we were also raised by, an immigrant father who came here. My dad's from Spain, so he came here to make life better. He doesn't understand a career in music, right? So for him, it wasn't very something that we could do. So even though we were super musical, I wrote my first song, I think in grade 5. We were always playing musical. My sister went to school for biological science. I went to school for history because it was just, and now we're both in music. She just flunked because she was miserable doing what she was doing. I kept going. I did enjoy history, but I went to Scotland to do my master's in museum studies. And I think the second week I was there, or the first week maybe, I met a guy on the beach playing guitar, and we started a band. So I was always one foot out the door. It was sort of drummed into my head that I couldn't do music as a career, but I was always something inside of me was but maybe you can. So I remember it was this specific moment we were doing a battle of bands in Scotland. And I remember we were playing a song, and I was singing lyrics that I wrote to a song that I wrote. And I remember people were just so into it. And I remember having this moment of connecting with, because it was a song about hangovers. It was called The Drinking Song. And I remember singing, and even though it was a stupid content, it was still, I think the hook was I am never drinking again. So people were just super into it and super connected. And I just love that feeling of having all these people vibing to this song that I wrote. And we were all kind of unified in this moment. And so I remember I kept going with my masters, but that moment for me was like, I wish I could bottle that feeling that I had.
Okay, so the topic for this week's show is carving out your own space. And I wanted to talk to you about this because you're an artist who has like sort of dipped in and out of different genres. And you're kind of hard to pigeonhole into just like one type of music.
Yeah.
How would you describe your music?
That's something I kind of struggle with. And I don't know if it's I love that I love so many genres and can do so many genres. But yeah, it's kind of hard when you're trying to describe. So lately what I've come up with is lyric-driven soul with a roots rock edge.
Ooh, I like that.
And because soul is always, like, even when I didn't think I was doing soul, people kept saying your voice is so soulful. And I remember actually Samantha Martin said to me, because I wasn't sure who to go with for my producer. And I was like, I kind of want to do the soul thing, but I want other elements as well. And she was like, remember, you are the one who brings the soul. And it always stuck with me. Because it was just finding that right combination, right? Because I grew up with a folky mom who like raised us on a healthy diet of like Peter Paul and Mary, Paul Simon and Garfunkel, Neil Young, like, and then I discovered like Janis Joplin and Hendrix and Zeppelin and like, so I had that folky element. And then, you know, with the Spanish side, like I grew up with Spanish music and gallego music from the north of Spain is where my family's from. It's like gaita, like bagpipes. So I had that folk element, but then when I discovered like jazz and soul, like that stuff drove me. Like I loved it. I connected so deeply to it. So yeah, for years I just did not know what I wanted to do, to be totally honest. Like I thought I should just do like acoustic singer-songwriter, but then I really wanted to do like Erykah Badu, soul, that kind of stuff. But then I thought maybe I should do rock because I could do the rock stuff so well. Like I was all over the place. And I think there's pros and cons to that. It's like, yeah, you can't really pigeonhole. So when people ask you what genre you are, it's like, ooh. I mean, I really like this lyric-driven soul because it does have that element and lyrics are so important to me.
Yeah.
But it's got a bit of an edge. And that's why this new producer that I'm working with now, like we've become really good friends. And we bonded over that era of music that I love so much, like the Laurel Canyon era. And like, he's a big Zeppelin fan. His name's Ross Hayes Citrullo. Like we met when I was doing a live stream at the Empire Theater during COVID. He was the engineer. And I remember talking to him. He was I didn't know who he was. I just walked into the control room and there was this like hairy guy on the board and he was like, great show. And I was like, thanks. And we just started chatting and we just, you know, when you meet someone, you just get along right away. And we were talking about Laurel Canyon and that era. Like I love that stuff. Like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Neil Young, like that stuff is so important to me. And he's the same. Like that's totally his wheelhouse, right? That's the stuff that really drove him as a musician. And his band, The Commoners, they're kind of like a Southern rock style too, like very 70s vibe.
Yeah.
And so I remember he was like, I'm a producer. And I remember thinking like, I was at a place in my life where I really didn't want to work with anybody I didn't feel like connected with. And my last producer was great. Hill Kirkudis. She's amazing, but she's more on the pop side.
Yeah.
And so I tried to go that side a little bit, but there was something in it that didn't speak to me. And she did a great job. Like she did exactly what I asked, but it's still what I wanted and what I still wasn't gelling somewhere, you know? So when I met Ross, I remember saying like, I'm going to work with this guy. And then I felt like I should actually just check out his stuff first. Cause I just liked him so much.
Just in case. Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little like, I could be a little impulsive sometimes. I was like, yes, let's do it. And I'm like, oh, can he even produce? Like maybe he can't. I have no idea. So then I looked him up and like, he's great. And we started talking and like, it is like it's such a great combination, not only because we become really good friends, so we communicate really well.
Yeah.
But also because that like Samantha Martin said, I bring the soul to it and he brings that element of music that I grew up with that I love so much. So it's sort of a perfect combination, right?
Yeah.
Like this, I love this album. Like my last album, I think it's a great album, but again, there's this element of me that's missing. So I don't connect, like I listen to it and I think they're great songs and Hill did an amazing job. She's super talented and I love her too. Like absolutely not a knock on her. But there's something in that record that I just wasn't connecting to in myself yet.
Yeah.
Whereas this record, I feel as the older I get, the more me I become.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about aging before and people resisting aging. And like, well, no, because the older I get, the more me I become and the more me I like.
Yeah.
I like who I am. And I think if you're resisting aging, then you're not finding out who you are, because I think that's how it should be for everybody, right? So this, anyway, sorry, I'm going off.
That's all right. I love it.
So thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. So this record, like, it's more me than anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like me, and it feels, Ross, like, he was so good at, like, if there was something that I didn't like, but I couldn't vocalize it, he would just know. And he would say, like, he would actually just say, like, you don't like it. Why don't you like it? What? Why? Why don't you like it? And he was like, it's like somebody poking you, like a little brother that's just, but he was right. Because if he knew, because he knows me, and because we became such good friends right away, if I loved something, he could tell. And if I wasn't sure about something, he could tell too.
Yeah.
And so, like, this,
that's good. That's a good producer, actually, that asks questions like that. Like, it's almost like a therapist will do that sometimes too. Like, it's kind of just, I had a really good manager I worked with, actually, too, that did that to me. That was just like, always say more. Like, so that you're just, it's like, why you don't like something, but please explain that more to me. Right. And you'll kind of always get down to the core of it at some point. It's a really good tactic, because it forces you to go, why? Why do I? I don't know.
Yeah, because in the past, I think if I haven't been able to really vocalize what I'm thinking, then I would just assume that it was me. Like, I did have not a great experience in Vancouver with a producer. And he was just kind of, I think, trying, like, he's not a bad person. He's not a bad producer, but I think he was just trying to, like, get it done.
Yeah.
And I was young. And so if there was something I didn't like, I remember I tried saying, I'm not sure about XYZ. And he would kind of say, like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is how it goes. And I remember thinking, like, oh, like, there's a bass line I didn't like. And I said, and he's like, well, you have two choices for a bass line. It's either 1-4-5 or like 1-5, whatever. Like, very theoretical and technical. And I remember thinking, like, I don't think that that's the case. But I'm not, I came from museum studies, and now I'm making an album. Like, I was in academia for the first chunk of my life. So obviously I'm the one who doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to shut up. Yeah. So I felt very silenced. And that's kind of how, like, being silenced is a big theme for me right now in my life, and resisting that, silencing myself, being silenced by others. And I think with Ross, like, working with Ross, he wouldn't let me silence myself.
That's really interesting. I just, like, from a personal standpoint, I really connect with that, because my biggest thing in life, and I think that all of the things you're talking about come with being a woman in general. And my biggest thing in life is being heard. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like, cause I know when I was in my early 20s working with I worked in radio, and I, like, worked predominantly with men. And I mean, I work in the music industry, so I still work predominantly with men. I mean, I know it's changing, but still it is predominantly with men. And that is my biggest thing. And as you get older, I think you understand that, oh, actually, I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. And even if I don't, what I have to say still has value in this conversation. So, that's the thing that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still catch myself doing it. And, and there's people around, like, men in my life who I love and who I know are open to ideas, but will not ever understand the concept of silencing yourself because you were raised in a patriarchy where you're made to feel like you should silence yourself or accept that you're being silenced. And so, like, well, you should have spoken up. Why wouldn't you just speak up? And, like, putting it completely on you instead of acknowledging that you have a part to, like, speak up, but also acknowledging that you were raised in this patriarchy where you are conditioned to believe that you don't have the choice to speak up or the choice to say no or the choice to express yourself. Or, women have to be pleasant and pleasing and, all of those things. And so, like, it's difficult. Like, there's actually a song on this album that I wrote in Vancouver around that time. And I think I wrote a lot of songs in the past, and I didn't maybe know at the time what they were about, but they just came out of me. Yeah. And there's a song on this album called Shine. Mm-hmm. And the hook on it is you couldn't shine like you wanted to. You couldn't talk about it. You couldn't figure it out. And I believe around this time, I was like, I felt silenced. I was silencing myself. I was allowing myself to be silenced. And so, I wrote the song 15 years ago, and I'm only covering it now. And it's one of my favorite songs in the album.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
love that.
significant.
No, exactly. And I mean, obviously, it's something that most women feel. So here we are,
Yeah.
like saying we're experiencing the same thing. Oof. All right. We've gone off on a tangent here, but that's okay.
Sorry, yeah.
I know. I love this discussion. This is so exciting. I love it.
I love tangents. So
no, it's great. Just kind of bringing us back to the carving your own space topic.
Mhm.
In 2019, you won the Toronto Blues Talent Search.
Yeah.
How did that affect your career and how people see you as a performer?
So can I tell a really funny story about this, actually?
Yes, please.
So I never identified myself as a blues artist. I didn't feel comfortable identifying as a blues artist. I didn't think it, although all modern music, modern Western sort of like popular music is from the blues. Like we know that.
Yeah.
So I acknowledge that, but I didn't feel comfortable acknowledging myself as a specific blues artist. Right. But people kept calling me a blues singer, and I found it like, I like going to blues jams, and I thought it was really fun to sing on blues jams, but I didn't think of myself as a blues singer. And I'd have these people just like kind of people saying she's a soul singer, she's a blues singer. I was like, oh, blues singer. But then, so my friend, I don't know if have you heard of Dawn Tyler Watson? She's a Montreal blues artist.
I don't think so. No.
She's amazing. She's a very good friend of mine. And she actually won the International Blues Challenge a few years ago.
Amazing.
She's amazing. And so she was always like, enter the Toronto Blues Talent Search, enter the search, enter the search, enter the search. And I kept saying, Dawn, I'm not a blues artist. I'm not a blues artist. I'm not a blues artist. So finally, in 2019, I entered it to shut her up. So I paid my $10 and I entered this. I was like, fine, now you will leave me alone. I've entered it. I expected to like never hear back. And then I get entered as a finalist. I was like, oh, damn. And then I won it. And like, I mean, I am super grateful, but now Dawn will never shut up ever, ever again. And she was like, I told you. Like, okay, yeah, you did. But it was huge. It was a huge, like I was very honored and very, very just over the moon to have won that. And it also, like, the Toronto blues community sort of opened its arms to me and still has. Like, they sent me to Memphis later that year.
Yeah.
Or in 2020. Right before everything went down. They sent me to Memphis to represent Toronto. Like, they've got me gigs. They've sort of, promoted my stuff. Like, so they've really, it's been a significant thing for me, like winning that. I mean, I had festival performances that only happened last year because COVID pushed everything a few years. So I had festival performances as a result of winning that. So it was definitely a big boost to my career. My career that had been kind of just going like this for a long time, partly because I didn't invest in myself. So I had a hand in that. But then when I won that thing, everything kind of started going like that. And then COVID.
Dropped
it all down.
And for the listeners, she's doing a plateau hand gesture. She plateaued, and then the blues shot her into the sky until COVID, which we all know dipped her back
down. Back down. Yeah.
Yeah, it dipped us all down. We understand.
It did.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, like, as we've discussed, I would call you a bit of a musical shapeshifter, which I have in the press releases I've sent out. I was like trying to find ways to describe you, but that's kind of like it really describes you, which means it's hard to find one space to build your career in.
Yeah.
You've talked about a bit about how that's been challenging for you, but I mean, how has that affected how you build your story and career if you don't have like one genre?
It has been like, I can't really say that I've nailed it down yet, to be honest, but the thing that I am sort of acknowledging is I also don't want to. Because with this last album, I was saying I tried going more into the pop world. So I was trying to like conduct it somewhere. And if I've learned anything in my short time on this earth, when I try to conduct things, they never go the way I want them to.
They never do, no.
And so when I step back and like let go of control, stop trying to control everything, conduct things and shove square pegs into round holes, when I stop, things usually just work out the way they're supposed to. And I mean, that's not often like sometimes it's not for the better, or, but the way they're supposed to. So this record, like I kind of just let go. I met Ross, we connected. I let that connection do what it did. And so, yeah, it is hard to fit into any one genre, but I'm also just making music that I'm so, I'm going to swear, so fucking proud of. I am so proud of, like, I listen to this record and I enjoy it. Like for me, I've always been my own worst critic. So I listen to stuff and I'm just like, what could I have done different? How could I change that? I don't like this. And I listened to this record and I was like, yeah, I love listening to it. And I also like people around me, you know, like all these different songs, and I like this one, I like that one. So I think there's also a pro, like, yes, it's difficult to fit into a space, but then you've got it makes it more accessible. Because I remember when I went to that blues challenge in Memphis, I remember thinking like, I brought my album. I remember thinking like, people aren't gonna, you know, they're gonna buy this album after seeing me in a blues challenge, and then they're gonna be like, what is this? And I sold a few. I didn't sell a ton, but a couple of people after seeing me went to the blues challenge store and bought my album. And I got messages saying like, I love this record. One guy in a blues society, I can't remember, he's up north somewhere in a blues society. He sent me an email and he's like, I found you at the blues, I sent some blues, I think a radio show maybe. And he said, normally this is not the kind of stuff I would listen to, but I have to admit, I haven't been able to take it out of my CD player. And that's my last record. And that, so I think people are more diverse than they give themselves credit for. Like, I think people are like, I'm a blues purist. Like, I think deep down, everybody can access different elements of music. Like, I love all different forms of music because there's something in every piece of music for everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, if you dig deep, and I learned that from doing covers. Like, I spent years playing covers, like working overseas, doing cover gigs. And I still love doing cover gigs because I love sitting in the background. Like, I did one last week, sitting in the background, just singing like Etta James and then Joni Mitchell and then like, you know what, Van Morrison, like just whatever you want. Like, I love singing covers. I love reinterpreting other people, like songs that I grew up with and I love. So I think I went off topic here.
Oh, listen, that's the name of the game. So don't worry about it. We have entire episodes where we didn't even get to the topic. So it's.
I love that. Oh, that's great. I love that so much.
Don't even worry about it. We're at least talking about the topic at hand. We're just like going off on tangents. I think that's fine.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
I think that like what I'm hearing from you is basically it's better to carve out your own space instead of trying to fit into like 5 different spaces. Like if you were trying to fit into like, say, the roots Americana space or try to fit into the blues space or the pop space, the soul space, whatever. It's better to just be you and see who comes to that, right? Yeah.
Well, because on this record, there's songs, like there's one song that fits so 100% into the Americana space. And then there's a song that fits into the like Southern rock space. And then there's a piano ballad. And then there's, you know, I mean, and then there, you know, the one I just released, Good Vibrations, that's like a blues soul tune, right? But it's not so vastly different that if you listen to this Good Vibrations and then you listen to the rest of the record, you'd be like, it's not even the same artist. Like there's still a theme of the same person and the same feel and the same vibe and the same voice, right?
Yes.
Like that's what I love about, just myself. Like that's why I say this is so myself, because like all humans, we are dynamic in nature. And I think we feel differently on different days. And like this album it sums that up entirely. And I think it's such an album of strength too, because the songs are pretty much all about like pushing through. And so I think that in conjunction with having like so many different elements of all the music that I grew up with and loved and discovered on my own. And and then like the simplicity, like ending with, not ending, but one of the last songs is that piano ballad that was the first single. And I mean, ending with this like simple, like this is me, there's nothing to hide behind.
Yeah.
Like the thing about the last record is that Hill's thing is sort of that all really cool sound, which I love. I love that too. Like the cool sounds and all the production. But I think I also love that on songs like The City, the piano ballad, there's nothing to hide behind. And like, this is me.
Yeah. And I think that you do feel that on it as well. Like, I feel like I know who you are on that song. Do you know what I mean? Like you do bring that element to it. And I guess that's what your producer was talking about. You bring the soul, right?
See, it's funny when you said that, like it almost made me emotional because I feel like I spent so much time hiding who I was from everybody, including myself, that for you to say, like, maybe I'm just like hormonal, but I'm like really emotional. I feel like almost teary.
Oh, it's
when you say like, I feel like I know who you are in that song, like that. I want people to know who I am because I didn't want to know who I was for so long. Like I'm sober and clean. And I spent so many years using drugs and alcohol to hide who I was from everybody, including myself, not wanting to feel who I was, right? So that you can say, like, I feel like I know who you are is it's one part scary.
Yes.
And it's one part like just incredible, because like I want people to know who I am, because I'm proud of who I am, and I've worked really hard to get here, and I'm continuing to change that, you know, grow and learn who that person is. And so I think if that comes through in my music, then that's like a huge accomplishment. Like we can't, there's no guarantees in this industry. You can't have expectations. We can have hopes and dreams, but like it's just, there's some incredible artists who have just not gotten off the ground. And so if I can, at the end of the day, know that I made music that I'm super proud of, that shows me and who I am, then like that's huge for me.
That's it, baby. That's that's like, the thing is like the music's there forever, right? So hopefully, we don't know with streaming, but yeah,
that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, but like once it's out there, and if you're proud of it, that's fantastic. And okay, so we're going to wrap things up just a little bit here. We've been talking about this new album of yours. It's called A Sound in the Dark. It's set for release in September, on September 29th. The first single was The City, which you were just talking about. The second single recently came out called Good Vibrations. How do you feel like your album rollout's going so far? Like what has been the response to the music?
It's been good. Like some of the reviews have been amazing. And, you know, and I really appreciate, because I feel like I've been doing this for so long. But again, for years, I wasn't investing. I was just playing and playing and playing and playing. But I wasn't investing in myself and really putting myself out there. So a lot of the reviews are saying things like, how have I not heard of this person? And I love that, because finally, you know, maybe people are starting to hear my music. And I hope that continues. You know, it's, of course, like you always want it to be bigger, and you always do the comparison game. Like I look on Instagram and I see somebody who just released their first album and they did it with their friend, and they're like, oh my God, 10,000 streams after a week. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'm like, I've been doing this for a million years. What am I doing wrong? So yeah, there's a part of me that wishes it would explode and do better. And I mean, not that I want to be a global superstar, but that I want to quit my day job. I want to make music my full time. And I mean, in order to fund my music career, it can't be, you know, in order to pay for these albums and the production and everything that goes out with releasing a record, I have to work multiple day jobs. So for that reason, yeah, I would love, like, I feel like people are really responding to the music, but at the same time, it's not enough. And I don't know if that's just me being impatient or ungrateful, or if it's just like, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's...
No, I totally know what you're saying. I mean, what you're saying, I hear a lot from artists. And I think that the thing is that there's just so many pieces that have to come together for it to work, right? Yeah. Like, you know, like say, for example, like publicity is just one piece of the pie, right? Yeah. There has to be like all of these other things that come together. Yeah. And whether that comes together or not, like is up to fate and sometimes just good timing. Like, you know, like you said, we all know artists that are incredible that never made it. So that's just the business.
It is. And there's no guarantee, and you have to keep doing it. And I mean, people say like, you do it because you love it. And sometimes I get annoyed because like, but I'd like to, you know, have stability. I would like to make some money. Yeah. But the fact is like, nobody forced you to do this. Like nobody, no, I have a master's in museum studies. Like I could have gone into a very comfortable life, but this is what drove me. And I wanted to do this. And I had something to say. I felt like I had something to say. And I think that at the end of the day, like what, you're asking how, I feel like I've definitely gone way off. And I don't want to sound like sort of self-pitying, because I think sometimes I tend to go there a little bit. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, like when you say how is the release being received, like I think the best way that these songs can be received is for people to say that they connected to them somehow. Like I had a friend reach out to me, and she reposted Good Vibrations, and it was a couple weeks after it came out, but I think she just saw a post somewhere, and she shared it, and she said, and somebody, I don't know her very well, she's sort of a friend of a friend, but she posted and she said, this song, I just heard this song and it's so relatable. I just have it on repeat over and over again, because like what you're singing about, I can feel it, and I felt that. And that to me is like, that's how I want. If I got a few messages like that for every song release, I'd be over the moon.
Oh, well, you are doing it because I felt it with the city. So, like that is what you're doing. So
Thank
be
you.
proud of that.
Thank you. I am. Thank you.
All right. Well, now's probably a good time to head on over to our fresh content segment. Every week on the show, we discuss our favorite piece of music content for the week. And we always like to start with the guest. So what do you got?
So just an album I cannot stop playing right now is Leon Bridges' Gold Digger Sound.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I discovered it sort of by accident, I want to say. It was on, I think, where was it? It was on like a recommend. I was on it was actually a couple years ago. I was on the Halls Island residency last summer or the year before. I can't remember, but it came up on my something like you might like this, and I'm like, oh, I've never heard this, and I played it, and like I couldn't the whole weekend. I was there for 10 days, and I think for the last 5 days it was just nonstop Leon Bridges. That one album in particular, it's so moving and so warm, and there's just so much emotion in it. And like again, it ranges because he's a soul singer, and he's got like the first song he does a song with Robert Glasper, who's one of my favorite artists, and then he's got a song with Ink. And it's like kind of got an acoustic element and it's a duet, but he's still got the soul. It's still that same thing throughout the whole. It's still him. Yeah. It's been a couple years and I still like every time I have a long drive, I'm like, Leon Bridges. Like I just can't stop listening to that record. It's so good.
No, it is good. There's that thing like, what you said, you bring the soul. It's with any type of music. You can tell if there's emotion behind it or if there isn't, right? Yeah. And that's the key.
It's authentic. Like I think people know, like humans know, even if the audience can't put their finger on it, they know when something they're listening to is authentic or inauthentic. I think we know how to identify that subconsciously.
Yeah, agreed. And if there's like emotion behind those words and what you're saying, and I can feel that, then that's what makes you connect with an audience, right? That's what makes somebody go, oh, I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah, and that's the stuff.
That's the juice, baby.
That's the juice. Yeah, more of that.
Oh my gosh! All right, so my fresh content is super basic, but I don't even care. It's for my girl Taylor Swift, who I love. I'm a Swiftie, just FYI. But
awesome.
But she's been re-recording her albums because fuck the man. Yes. And she just released Taylor's version of the album Speak Now. It just came out, available for everybody to stream. Don't stream the other one, stream this one. And I'm recommending it because this album in particular, she had to make because when she started her career, everybody was saying she was manufactured. She can't be that good. There's a big machine behind it. All of those things can be true, but she is also one of the greatest songwriters of her generation. And this album, she wrote all of the songs by herself, just basically to say, you know what, go fuck yourself. Here we go. I will prove to you. And, the songs are written by someone who's much younger. So of course you can sit there and go, well, whatever, make fun of them or whatever. But she's an incredible songwriter. She always has been. And just, give props to my Taylor, who is, love that she's sticking it to the man. And
I love that too. That was such a power. It's such a boss move.
Oh, the best move, right?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody listening to this knows, but she couldn't get her masters back from Scooter Braun, who has since sold them. He doesn't own them even anymore. But trash bag. Yeah. So she said, you know what? I'll just re-record them. Yeah. And actually the idea for that actually came from Kelly Clarkson via a tweet, which is so funny.
That's so cool.
Isn't it?
I love Kelly Clarkson. I think she's another one, like just powerhouse. Like personally, like just the things that she says musically, her voice, like she's just I love her.
Me too. You can't, like, if you hate her, I don't know what's wrong with you, because
you're just you have no soul.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a jerk. You hate Kelly Clarkson.
The best.
Yeah, She's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time, Sandra. Thank you for the good conversation. It was great.
Thanks for having me. I feel like we could have talked for 3 hours.
Well, you see, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's so true.
And I have to limit it because I'm doing the editing. So.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, I don't have to edit all of this.
Yeah, the first season, I just let everything ride, and now I'm like, actually, I don't have that kind of time. So.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
That was such a good one. I really hope you liked it. And thanks again to Sandra for coming on the show. Thanks so much for listening to the FM podcast. If you like the show, please tell your friends and give us a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. It really helps out the show. So if you can take the time, we'd really appreciate it. The FM podcast is produced by Fritz Media with production assistance from Carla J. If you want to learn more about Fritz Media, check out our website at fritzmedia.ca. And if you want to learn more about the podcast, just go to thefmpodcast.com. As always, a big thank you to Said the Whale for providing the theme music for the show, and you can find them at saidthewhale.com. Okay, so we're going to go with our song of the week this week, which of course is from Sandra Bouza. This is her latest single, Good Vibrations.
It was almost too easy, that look in your eye that said I was almost home. Home for the holidays, maybe even home to stay. It's been such a long damn time since I went away. Well, then, just there I go again, trying to find that loophole. Yeah, to get me back around the bend. To get me back to those good vibrations. Yeah, to get me back in the mood. To get me back home with you. When home with you was someplace good. And I wanna get it back. Some slack, babe. You know I always had a hard time letting go, especially when that home was someplace that I've never really known. Well, it couldn't happen all at once. No, bit by bit we just seem to fade. Now it's 3 years down the road, and tell me why the hell are you sitting so far away? Yes. Well, I always was a bit of a fixer, trying to get my own shit together for the better of another chance. Maybe someday soon, but now I know it's slow dancing in a burning room. Yeah. You see, it wasn't that I didn't believe you, but any given day it was a shadow of virtue. And I was building you a castle out of flesh and setting myself on fire again and again. And I just want to get it back. Those good vibrations. I can't feel wish it was easy going back to those good vibrations.
Bye. I'll see you next Tuesday.